Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. My name is Stevie Dutzman. I'm your host, as always, and I am joined this week by one of my very best friends in the whole wide world, Linda Roble, the Mistress of Magnificence, otherwise known as Mom. We got Mega Mom in the chat. It's just it's a regular occurrence. It's like everything's back to normal. I wish like the world felt like it was normal. You know,
it's getting closer. We feel a teeny bit closer.
Yeah, a little bit. So it is board game week. That's why Linda's here. Now, granted, we kind of bucked that trend because last week you were here talking all about video games, and we went over a whole bunch of stuff. But now you're back in your element. It's
true. Much more comfortable.
Much more comfortable. You're back in your element talking about board games. We got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about today. So you played a game. I got a game that we're going to unbox on the stream. And we've got two ginormous Kickstarters that we're going to talk about. One of them I know your husband is very interested in. He doesn't know it yet, but I know he is very interested in it. Because I told you the two names ahead of time. And we also have a new Dungeons & Dragons book, which has an event, which is, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm more excited about this than any book that they have put out in a very long time. And wow. I think it is a very big deal, and I have a feeling it's like my next many campaign settings that I will be running in. That's how cool it is.
Wow, that says something. You being the most excited, that definitely says something.
Hey, look at that. We got Drew in the chat over in Facebook because we can do this now, in case you weren't aware. The Engaged Family Gaming Podcast is streamed on Facebook, on Twitch, on my personal Facebook, on Twitter, and also on YouTube. And everybody can go there and hang out and chat, etc. And Drew, who you may remember from back in it, you remember?
I do remember Drew.
He says you rule. Isn't that awfully nice of him?
That's so nice.
So thank you everybody from across the universe coming and watching our show. This has been a wild experience trying to stream it everywhere. Thankfully, technology allows us to do that. Linda, let's start and go right around the horn because you played a game, and I know that you played a game because you were posting about it on your TikTok. Because that's right, the two of us are TikTokers now. Linda, tell me about the game you played.
I played a game called Trails by Keymaster Games. And it is part of the Parks game series. So they put out, they've already put out a game, a much larger game about parks. Well, this is zooming in and just focusing on going hiking across the trails. Mm-hmm. It's so fun. So the premise is you're literally going down the trail and you're journeying back and forth and you're going through different settings and at different locations you're gathering resources and taking pictures. Mm-hmm. You got little pitter-patter behind you. So as you're going along, it's a little bit of resource management, but very light. This is definitely a much lighter game. We actually were a little overwhelmed with the rules. There's a bunch of rules at the beginning to go through, but this is the perfect example of a game that you play one turn and you go, oh, okay, that's it. This was one of those one turn and learn it games. It made a lot of sense. You know, you could, really simple rule. You can move your little hiker meeple, and they're adorable. Check out the TikTok. I was showing the camera. The hiker meeple, you can move it 1 or 2 spaces. And whatever you land on, you can gather resources if they're available at that location. There's also a little bear meeple that moves around the board. So if you land on a space with the bear, you get to roll a special die, and it tells you where to move the bear, and you get those resources as well. So just really cute. Once you hit a certain point of the game, you start flipping the path to nighttime, and the resources change slightly. You actually get more resources in the nighttime side. So if you can collect 1 stone, you hit nighttime, you can collect 2, things like that. Cool. And so you're trying to get the most points because there's different badges you can earn, and you're taking pictures, and you get points for those. So there's all kinds of ways to earn points. Per my usual, I didn't do terribly well, but I had a lot of fun playing it. We played this with a group of ladies that are quite veteran at gaming, so they were quick to pick up on the strategy to gather points.
Cool.
So It was a lot of fun. Very gorgeous artwork. Beautiful.
I mean, the whole series this is readily available at Target or on Amazon. This game is, about as mass market as they come. So it's called Trails, also Parks. Both of them are, both of them are absolutely gorgeous board games. And I'm glad that you got Trails to the table. We have Parks. We'll just have to bring that one and give that one a shot because we have not. I bought it when it was on sale at Target and actually haven't put it on the table yet. Because we've had other stuff to do. Speaking of other stuff to do, you want to open a game?
Let's do that. Because you might have posted on your TikTok.
I posted on my TikTok. Which, by the way, I have a major TikTok milestone to talk about. And that is that the Engaged Family Gaming TikTok has officially broken 700 followers.
Ooh.
And not only that, but now I have broken 760 followers since last night as one of my TikToks went micro-viral.
Wow.
And a lot of people, it must have gotten shared by somebody or something. I'm not really sure. But a lot of people really liked my Tunic impressions. And I ended up getting like 60 more followers in like a half hour. It was pretty intense. So we're at this point, we're moving on up. Next goal is 800 by the next week. And I think that's a reasonable goal. But anyway, I posted a video about mountains out of molehills on the TikTok because the OP sent it to us. Yeah, thank you, Mega Mom. I'm pretty excited. I know you're old. You don't have to do the TikTok thing. But it's a video format that I'm super comfortable with, so I'm just gonna roll with it. And I feel like I'm getting better every day. So Mountains Out of Molehills is a new game from the OP. They sent it to us last week. I showed it off on TikTok saying that we had it. And now we're going to open it and I'll show you what's in it. Because this is that cool board game, just to show you all the back. And it's played on 2 levels. And the idea is you are moles underground trying to compete while you push stuff up to make the biggest molehill. So I'm going to open this, and we're going to show you what's in the box.
Can't wait. It's so cute looking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Although I'm not sure it'll all be put together. So we got a nice big instruction manual. I do love those. Okay. With some really cool illustrations on the inside. Here we go. And then the board...
There's a whole bunch of pieces.
We got these boards right here. So we got 2 boards. I'm guessing that's the top and the bottom. We do have a pad for keeping score.
Those are so handy.
Yep. Again, nice little pad. Double-sided pages. I love that. And then here's the best part. I'm not going to open the cards, but we got cards. I mean, that's whatever. But this is the thing that's really important, is the acrylic standees for the moles. Because a lot of games are moving away from miniatures to having acrylic standees. There's actually a company that makes them just for... there's a company that makes them for Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh.
And part of that is because you can really put some serious detail in there. And the other piece is they lay flat, so it's easier to store them. Like,
not dealing with all that storage space.
This is as tall as all the standees, and there's 4 players. If there were 4 figures, this would have taken up a big piece of the box. And here we go. Like, this is one of them. And then here's another guy. And here's another guy. He looks kind of like this guy looks like the mole from Atlantis, I think. And here is another one. So these, and they come with little plastic little pieces that you plug them into. And there are there's a company that makes some really awesome standees for Dungeons and Dragons, and I have thought about buying a bunch of them because what's interesting about those is you can actually put them in like a binder for like Magic cards or Pokemon cards, because you can just slide the piece and its base in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
Takes up way less
then
space.
You have like a portfolio of characters you can pull.
Correct.
Monsters. Your monster binder.
Your monster binder. Would you guys would be it would create the experience that every time I reached for the monster binder, you'd be like, oh man.
Oh man.
So these are the four little pillars.
Oh yeah, the pillars.
They're plastic. Yep. I like that. I was worried that they were cardboard and that would make them subject to bending a little bit. But no, these are nice plastic pieces that hold the top layer above. And then I'm not going to open the bag of them because it feels like there's... But these are the little molehill tiles.
To make your molehill, yep.
And they're basically... They're not like Legos because they only have one like pip at the top of them. We've all played with these kinds of...
They look like Unifix cubes.
I don't know. Is this a Unifix cube?
They look very similar.
I don't know what that is. Is a Unifix cube a school thing?
It's a school thing. Sorry, I went school.
Oh, is that thing that they plug together so you can do like 3 bricks and 2 bricks is 5 bricks? Yep. Okay, I've seen that.
Yep. You can build like numbers.
I would be stunned if they didn't use those to proxy this, to like demo it for prototype. But these have like a nice little dirt texture on the side.
But it's the same premise. It's just that one. Yeah, you can only connect one way. Yep.
They got some nice little. You go to your you have them on your TikTok, right?
They're on my TikTok because I did a school video about I use them in a behavior management system.
All right. So let me go ahead. Here's what I really like about this. It comes with the exception of having to open up the deck of cards, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to risk dropping them. This is pretty much fully assembled. You can get right into this, which I really like. How many games do we get out that it's going to take hours upon hours to set up? I say as I have Gloomhaven downstairs.
It's true.
Where I'm like,
they're fewer and far between because we tend to do more family weight. But
it's true, but I do have Gloomhaven downstairs, and that's going to take that's like 2 or 3 game sessions just to organize. So this is Mountains Out of Molehills. It's not ages 9+, 2 to 4 players. This is a longer one, 45 to 90 minutes, or 45 to 60 minutes rather. But I think this is still pretty cool. We had Megamom in the chat saying that she's a fan of standees. I think they are. They take up less material. You can make them more detailed. I think I appreciate the move in that direction. Especially the acrylic ones, just because they look really classy. And for the right kind of game, I think they look awesome. Some games do need like a 3D fig, but I think standees work for a lot of that. Speaking of standees, remember last board game podcast we talked about Sorcerer's Arena?
Yes.
Also by the OP. Fun fact.
Okay.
I had a friend of mine who went to Gamma this past week. Yes, 3D figs are great, but they take up a lot of space. I had a friend of mine, I don't know why I can't talk. Went to Gamma this past week, which I have come to the conclusion I can't ever miss again. So much stuff came there. I'm gonna have to go there next year. I wonder if I'll be comfortable flying to Reno. But do you know what works as a kicked up miniature in that game? A Disney Infinity figure.
Oh.
Because the hexes on that board are just the right size that you can use Disney Infinity figures for the appropriate characters. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might have to rock that because I think that is very cool. Like like the Aladdin fig, Sully. There's so many of them that have Disney Infinity figures. They're admittedly hard to find now, but not impossible.
True.
And I think that's such an awesome upgrade.
And if you happen to have a box of them in your house.
If you happen to have a box of them in your house, you get free upgrades. Otherwise, to the eBay you go.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm excited to get this Mountains Out of Molehills game. You and I, pretty much as soon as we saw it, I think we saw it the same day, and both of us were like, "Ooh." So that's Mountains Out of Molehills from the OP. They've been knocking it out of the park recently. So I have no doubts that this is going to be killer.
I'm so excited. And it's been so great they've been sending things so we can check them out.
It is absolutely very kind of them to send that stuff over to us. They follow me on the TikToks now. So,
Ooh.
yep, I'm the big time. The OP follows me. Um, you want to talk about this new Dungeons and Dragons game?
Yeah.
So we got a new announcement today. A new Dungeons and Dragons book coming June 21st, and it is called Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. And here's the fast facts that matter. Number one, it's a adventure compilation book with 13 smaller adventures in it that can either be tied together or inserted into any campaign you like, or kind of all run, piecemeal. Very much like the Candlelight Mysteries or the Candlekeep Mysteries from last year. This takes place in the Radiant Citadel, which is a city that is... I have to describe this very carefully. It is a city that is built within the body of a long dead creature floating through the ethereal plane. And so basically, big old dead thing. You know what? It's like nowhere.
I was just saying.
It's like nowhere.
They had this in Avengers. Okay. Yep. The Marvel universe. It is like nowhere.
Are you talking about the D&D game coming with standees? No, it does not. So it's like nowhere. Only nowhere is like super dark, and it is like grim dark, like criminal stuff. This is deliberately designed to be a happy and hopeful place. This is where you go to this is where you party. There's a market. There's all sorts of stuff. And essentially, it is just a whole bunch of portals to other places, which are where all these adventures go. So basically, you play someone who is from the Radiant Citadel, and you play through adventures where you go and do stuff. And the Radiant Citadel is not a dark place. It is a happy... and that's the part that I really dig about it, is that this is just a place where you go do wonderful things. And there can be adventures there, but it's not like there's a deep, dark criminal underworld. No, none of that. This is... Now, the next thing, and this is what I think is extra awesome, is every single one of these adventures was written by a person of color. And, which by itself is cool. Let's get more writers in. Let's get diversity. But all of these adventures are in wild and far-off fantasy worlds, based on its the story's authors, the mythology from where their family originated from, or their background. And so
that's cool.
We have they've only revealed 3 adventures so far, but one of them is excuse me. Let me take a quick sip here. So one of them takes place in essentially the American South. So it is very like American Southern Gothic horror, which is cool, right? So it's kind of like, there's basically kind of like Lovecraft Country or Get Out, and so it is meant to be kind of like an unsettling horror as opposed to, other stuff. And there's another one set in a bazaar in India. Ish.
Oh, that's...
It's not India.
Yeah, right. India, but not India. Understood.
India, but not India. And I actually had someone comment on because I made a TikTok about this, and someone commented on it who was very obviously doing a search for everybody's TikToks about this, which I think is fine. And they said that they wrote an adventure that was based on like a Mesoamerican mythology. Great. And so I don't know what the details were. I'm not even sure that it was announced, but they wrote it, so they can do whatever they want as far as I'm concerned. 11 new D&D monsters. So basically, I am so thrilled for this. It's coming out in the middle of June 21st. I will have this. I will share my impressions of this as soon as I have it. I think this is just astonishingly beautiful as far as like the art, the if you go to the Wizards Mothership website, you can see the alternate cover, and this is the first alternate cover that I've been like, nah, I need to buy this. Because it's, instead of being like darker with like, you know, an embossing or anything like this, is just beautifully painted, and kind of with animals and plants, you know, representing multiple different cultures. I don't know if they're cultures from the book, but it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And I think this is the absolute thing that Wizards needed to do. Let's highlight, let's highlight people of color. Let's highlight people that need to be rewarded for their talent and have them put out some really cool stuff. And I can't wait to play the heck out of it. So
That sounds amazing.
yeah, so journeys through the Radiant Citadel. I also think creating a kind of like a home base for an adventure that is positive,
Right.
is really cool. Like, yeah, there we go. We got Drew in the chat. Diversity, good stuff. That's about as straightforward as you get, and that is a correct answer, objectively. I'm also really down with having a home base for a campaign be like positive and happy. Because not everything needs to be grimdark, you know? Like, I think just living in a place that's just a big old party with lots of hopeful, exciting, and fun things happening all the time sounds awesome to me.
You go into the terrible, and then you come back to the party.
Exactly.
I like that.
Although it appears that there's some party too, because at least one of the adventures has the Dungeons and Dragons equivalent of Chopped in it.
Really?
I don't know. They put that in one of the articles that I read. Put that in there that was a major selling feature. It's the low level adventure, because you know how these work. They start at low levels and they go up. You can tie them all together. Which, for the record, for my party, I'm gonna tie all these together. So be ready. But the first adventure involves. Yeah, I know. Well, we will. It has the Dungeons and Dragons equivalent of Chopped in it.
I'm all on board on this.
I want to know how you DM that. I'm not really sure. So, yeah. So that's D&D stuff. And I'm very excited about that. You know I love new D&D books.
Yeah.
I know. It's almost like we're supposed to start. Well, we need to finish Curse of Strahd first. That's the thing that I like about that, is that it is so perfectly just coming right off of Curse of Strahd, which is like the scary, grimdark vampire stuff, and then followed up with hopeful, fun, like interplanar adventure. Just sounds great.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
I know we were going to do the Tomb of Annihilation, but we can do that later. Who says broccoli? Listen, I don't say that broccoli can't hurt you. I am super confident that broccoli can. 2 big Kickstarters dropped today, Linda. Tuesday is a big Kickstarter day. That's how when I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was Tuesday. You should have been like, but it's Kickstarter day, Steve. How did you forget about that? We got 2 really big ones. Let's start with the one that is basically made for your husband.
Boy.
Let's go. We're gonna go right into it. Everybody. Linda, can you talk?
I can talk. You need
Good.
to tell
All right.
a fun story.
No, this was an audio test. So, Jurassic World: The Legacy of Isla Nublar from Prospero Hall came out today. They had a 100,000 goal. They were funded in 2 hours. This is going to go absolutely insane. It is a legacy game set on Jurassic Park.
Wow.
That's it, folks. It's a legacy game set in Jurassic Park. Literally, for a lot of people, that's all they needed to hear. Oh, it's a legacy game. And you're making Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Let's go with it. Do I know how it's played?
I'm checking out after. Yep. I may be checking this out after we're done.
Yeah, you may have to. So, essentially, you are building, managing, and creating dinosaurs. But the dinosaurs can mutate. You don't want that.
Yes, they can.
So the the Kickstarter edition is $120, which is a lot. There's no way around it. However, it's the only version of the game that's available. It is a big old game box with its own extra special Kickstarter sleeve. And then it comes with a whole bunch of stuff. Fun fact, the box is only 1.3 inches smaller than a T-Rex egg. The box is 7 pounds. This is a very heavy board game because there's a lot of stuff. You have 21 different characters. You have a bunch of dinosaur minis, which I love the dinosaur minis. They look awesome.
That's fun. It's fun when there's like minis for all this stuff.
Yep. And it is there's a lot, and they haven't told us everything yet. Because this is one of those games. This is absolutely one of those games that is going to be there will be more surprises and more stuff added to this as the campaign continues, obviously.
Of course.
And so yeah, this is one of those. It's coming out this October. So really, this game is designed. This game has already been designed. This game is ready. We're just essentially pre-ordering this. It's coming out this October, which really means that this is a Christmas gift.
Oh, definitely.
Because even if it's delayed by a little bit, that's not that bad. So that is Jurassic World. The way that legacy games work is it's 12 adventures. So if we follow the path of Pandemic Legacy, that's played over the course of a year, and you can play each month twice. So that's basically like 12 adventures, 24 plays. If it plays like that, that's a pretty good chunk of game. There are some folks that don't like legacy games because they don't like what happened. You know, they don't like the game to be like done. But the counterpoint to that is some of those have really cool surprises. And you don't really get surprises in board games anymore. Right. So I think this is interesting. Like I said, it's $120. They'll charge shipping later. It's a 7-pound box, so I wouldn't guess the shipping will be super inexpensive. However, what are you going to do on that one? It's already funded. And this is Prospero Hall. They're not going to screw this up. They've got Funko behind them, so I am not worried about that. Let's go to the other one. This one's a little bit more interesting. This is more my style. I'm not a Jurassic Park guy. I want to talk about Tidal Blades.
That sounds interesting too.
Did you know I wasn't a Jurassic Park guy? Have I mentioned that before? It's one of the things that your husband and I disagree on.
Yes. I don't think you've told me, but I didn't know there was dissonance with that.
Yeah. Tidal Blades. Rise of the Unfolders. So the original Tidal Blades came out went to Kickstarter in 2018. Wildly successful Kickstarter from Druid City Games. This is the sequel to that. It is a completely different game, which is one thing that is worth mentioning. If you liked the first one, don't automatically go into this. But it is a absolutely gorgeous adventure book game, very similar to some of the other adventure book games we've played, where they have the battle maps and game maps on spiral-bound notebooks. And you play through a whole bunch of different scenarios, which I like. And this it's a narrative board game, 21 scenarios. That's 40 hours of gameplay. So it is very similar to a legacy game. The difference is your characters level up, but you can kind of like start over. But it is a narrative story game, where you're choosing a hero and you're leveling those heroes up. And my hero, you and I could be playing the same one in different campaigns, and our heroes could be very different because you're doing a little bit of deck building, little light RPG stuff, which is very cool. Here's what's really neat about this. So they have the actual board game, but also they teamed up with Monty Cook Games to design a Cypher System tabletop role-playing game set in the Tidal Blades universe. And you can buy just the RPG book, or just the board game, or both. So I'm torn, I will admit, because I love the world of Tidal Blades. Tidal Blades is essentially it's like fantasy water world. The whole world has been covered by water, and so it's okay. So it's fantasy water world, but it's good.
That's helpful caveat at the end.
Oh, Megamom says that she's excited about Casting Shadows, another Kickstarter that dropped today. We'll take a look at that. Bear with me a moment. I did not hear about that one, but we're going to investigate. So, this one is pretty expensive because you can get both. However, it looks really cool, you know?
It does.
And so the idea is you're playing action cards on this thing called a Nexus grid, and that's how you fight. So you're like dealing out cards from your hand onto a grid, and you have to spend points to activate things. It looks awesome. I like narrative games. So this is one that launched today. There is just a regular board game with no miniatures. In fact, they have standees. Is $89. But then you can get the upgrades that includes some more fancy stuff for $109. It's the deluxe edition that has miniatures, and that's $150.
Okay.
I mean, this is one of those you kind of got to be all in, I think.
Right.
And then there's one.
All in on this one.
Yeah. I missed out on because the problem with the first one came out in 2018. I was not exactly flush with cash in 2018, and so I missed the deluxe edition. I had it backed. I had to unback it toward the end, just because we had other important stuff to do. But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, hey, this looks pretty cool, because I do love storybook games. So I don't know. We're gonna the general and I will have a talk about it.
It's hard when there's so many good things that you have to prioritize a bit.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, real life. At the end of the day, this is the best example. And there are so many people, on Facebook. They're like, "Oh my goodness, this is too expensive. How am I supposed to justify this?" I'm like, "You're not. If you can't do it, don't.
Okay.
Because these are luxury items. Lord knows you can get plenty of board game out of King Domino for $20 at Target. You know what I mean? With that said, man, does this look so cool?
It does look cool.
And at the very least, I'm gonna have to do the tabletop role playing game because I like that system. So this is I also really like the bright colors. What happened is I missed the deluxe edition of the last one, and then get this: how rude is this? They found more deluxe editions and they put them out. But when did they put them out? Like a week before I got my new job.
Oh no!
And so I actually pulled it up on my phone, and I was like, "Honey, this hurts me, like on a personal level." And we lamented like, "Wow, this would have been really cool if it was like if they had released it like 3 days later, it would have been very different." But this is just, but you can't.
You have to make the
you gotta
responsible
make the
decisions at the time. Yeah.
Yes. So but that also makes me not want to miss it again. Which is maybe how they're getting me. What's the one that
FOMO's real? I pulled it up on. Oh, FOMO's real.
Casting Shadows.
I pulled up the Casting Shadows. Oh man, this may be one that I have to go. Of the three, I'm now most excited about this one. I have to be honest, because we love the Unstable Unicorns.
Oh yeah. Oh, they got the nine-tailed fox up on the cover. This thing has made so many dollars. Okay. Man. Okay, the fox on that cover. With the crook staff, getting ready to cast some dark shadow mat. Oh,
super cool.
Explore a dark and. Let me read the text. Let me read the text, everybody. So it says, explore a dark, enchanting world and battle your opponents in this 2 to 4 player turn-based competitive strategic board game. Throughout the game, you collect resources, learn new spells, summon a companion, and if you're lucky, unlock your shadow form. All in the quest to become the ultimate shadowcaster. The last player standing. After the supernatural showdown wins the game. I would like to discuss, Mega Mom. Are you cool with people having shadow forms? Like, I'm not trying to say nothing, but we have the three of us, you and Linda and I, have personal experience with things having shadow forms in other games. And I'm just saying,
triggering for certain people.
I'm just a little nervous. I hear shadow forms and I get a little nervous. Oh my God, the little standee of the fox And there's an axle. Oh wait, you can get minis. Yo, the axolotl mini.
Cool. There's an axolotl mini.
Okay, she said she's fine with it. Alyssa, her LARP character, would burn the board game just to be sure. All right, you know what? I'm fine with that. The axolotl mini. Yo, the little bear that turns into the big. Oh wow! No, we need to do this. All right, what do we do this? Kickstarter exclusive. Kickstarter exclusive expansion. Where's the one that gives you? Oh, you gotta get. How do I get the? Oh, the only way to get the acrylic standee, the only way to get the vinyl the only way to get the vinyl figure sets is the Ultimate Collector's Edition. It looks like, unless those guys are add-ons. Are they add-ons?
I wonder if they'll make them add-ons because the game
deluxe
itself.
Yeah.
Because like for $39, you can be getting the game.
Yeah. Okay. So the deluxe edition or the Kickstarter deluxe bundle has acrylic standees, which are also adorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Ultimate Collector's Edition that has the 3D dudes and the acrylic standees. All right, let's see. Is there? I'm looking at everybody. Oh, they got meeples. I like the meeples too.
This is really cool. Oh.
This is the cutest thing. All right.
This is super cool. We really like Here to Slay that they put out as well. Like that's actually gotten a ton of play time here. The boys really, really enjoy it. So another game from them, I think, would be a big hit. And unless you go full like collector set, like the actual just the game is relatively affordable.
Yeah. Oh, just the game is absolutely right in there. Now it doesn't look like those are. Yeah. All right. So the acrylic standees are not. Man, if I had to choose. Man, this is tough. I wonder. I don't know, man. Everybody listening, you're hearing me make hard decisions right now.
True.
Because there's no way on earth I could do both this and Tidal Blades.
Right.
Whew. Oh, the acrylic standees are so cute. The axolotl is just A+. Wow. Yeah, I would imagine that this is really good. Man, it's not very often that I am left speechless. And this is really cool.
Yeah, no, this is adorable. Thank you, Mega Mom, for pointing us in this direction. Because
I had no idea.
Else coming out, we missed this one. Now
I totally did.
$dollars going towards it. I'm at the very least. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm at the very least getting just the basic game.
Yeah.
The very least, I'm getting that. I have to make hard decisions on what else I may get. I
mean, Jurassic Park, man. Jurassic Park. All right, so
you know what? We haven't done legacy games in this house, though. Weirdly, that's one of our blind spots. We have not done legacy. I don't know if that's going to be a jumping off point for us, especially at that price point.
Yeah.
Hard. I mean,
I think you guys would dig it though.
I think we would, but I don't know if it's enough to.
Yeah, you're right.
Make that leap.
You're right. It is a little tough. So man, what else came out to Kickstarter today? Now I'm worried. That I missed something.
True.
Like now I'm nervous. Although let's be honest with ourselves, like who would be so crazy as to put out their game today against those three? Because I would have been like, wow, Casting Shadows maybe like back up. But they raised more money than the other ones.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
I'm astonished that I missed that too, because I tend to follow them. We really like the Unstable Unicorns properties.
All right, so I'm going through, and it looks like the rest of the stuff is all kind of the rest of the stuff in the games category is other stuff that is not really competing with it. So I get it now. They're not really competing. They are they're much smaller projects, or they're like gaming accessories.
Okay.
Or like party games. Some nice Bluetooth headphones for Nintendo Switch. So anyway, that's our show, man. We kept it light this week. Those three Kickstarters. I'm glad that Mega Mom showed us those three killer Kickstarters because I did not know about the casting shadows, and that's freaking awesome. So I will be back this Thursday for the EFG show. We took last week off. I put this announcement into the group. I may as well just talk about it here. The only thing that happened that was newsworthy last week was the Harry Potter stuff. And I have concluded, after careful consideration, talking to Amanda, I'm just not going to talk about the game in its pre-release form. But I am going to review it because it is unquestionably going to be one of the biggest games of the year. There's a lot of families that are just completely unaware of what's going on. There's going to be a lot of kids that want to buy that game. And I do have a responsibility to tell them whether it's good, bad, unplayable, etc. So we will do that. I will be back this coming Thursday. And there's been a lot. Today was a big old games showcase highlighting Black Voices, which was very cool. Some cool announcements. And we've got some other little stuff coming out. So I think, and at the very least, I'll be able to share my impressions of Tunic for those folks that did not catch it on my TikTok, because I did make a TikTok about it. And also moving forward, on any given night where I was going to have a stream, I'm just going to, so if we were going to play WoW on Monday, we didn't this week. It was suggested to me that if we miss a show or I miss it, I'm just going to play a video game. So I will be on here Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays every week. Whether I'm talking with Linda or Amanda or playing WoW on Monday, if I'm not doing those things, I will be playing whatever my current game of the time is. And I'm hoping to be back online sometime this Saturday to play a little bit more Tunic. So yeah, that's our scheduling notes. I want everybody to have a good night. We will see you in a couple of days for the EFG show to talk all about probably some GDC stuff too, but a lot of games coming out of the Celebrating Black Voices announcements today. And who knows what else gets announced the next couple days. So y'all have a great night. We will talk to you soon. And until then, don't forget to get your family game on. Talk to you soon.